What is up, Boom community? I'm hoping the chat over the screen isn't too much. It's going to block too much of the questions. It might on some of them, but what is up, Boom community? Tomorrow's the big day for OP. I need to pass my general knowledge practice test written and my passenger endorsement. I don't know if I'm going to do all the knowledge tests here. I ran through all of them already like last week, and a lot of them have the same questions here and there, but there are some differences. But we'll probably run 3 of them today, and then I'll run through the passenger one because there's 4 passenger ones that are 25 questions each. But we are going to see what knowledge I have retained in my noggin here on on what is going on, guys. What is going on? My brother Wyatt Earp, seriously, my friend, 80%, I think you will score 100. Last night, before I went to sleep, I did 7 and 8, and I was writing them on the paper. Like I told you guys, I was copying and pasting the question and answers. I'm not looking at those right now, but when I was doing those last night for 7 and 8, so I have all of them now, I was getting them right. And I think I scored a 96 on one of them and a 92 on the other one. And the ones that I missed, I knew, but I just was a stupid butt and picked the wrong answer. So I'm not perfect. I will probably fizzle on a couple of these questions, but I can miss 10 out of the 50 and still pass. So let's not get below an 80% today, okay, guys? But what is up, my good friends? What is going on? Welcome. Yo, Joe Day 1819 says, good luck, OP. You got this. Thank you, Joe Day. Silver chair. Is this to drive for? No, it's not. This is to drive commercial vehicle silver chair. Passenger endorsement, where at my church where I fellowship at, I get to, I have a picture. I guess I could have brought that up on the screen. I have a picture of the trolleys that I'll be able to drive. I can show you guys really quick here. Okay, so let me do something really quick here. Where is Air Server? I can show you guys a picture of the trolleys here. One second here. Where is my video capture device? Is that? Oh, that just went out. So sorry. There I am. Game capture that's it right there. Okay, so let me copy this. Okay, that should be good. So I'm gonna do something like this really quick. Come on, OP. Oh, I need to run Air Server. That would probably help. Okay, there we go. There are the trolleys, guys, from my church that I would be driving passengers to and fro from the parking lot to our church. That's a picture of my the trolleys there in front where I fellowship at church, and there they are. We got a blue one and a red one, and yeah, those are the trolleys, guys. I need a Class B passenger endorsement for that, and yeah, if I can get it, then I can. Then I can drive those people around in that those trolleys. How cool they are, huh? How cool they are. All right, my friends. Well, I'm going to be rocking here and getting ready to rock. But yeah, tomorrow is my test at the DMV. I feel like the stream is delayed a little too much, OP, says Oma. Is it really? Am I delayed, guys? Let me know in the chat. I don't think I am. Is this a quiz that's only me? Yeah, it's a practice test, only me tomorrow. I need to know these questions by tomorrow so I can pass the test. Boom, guys, here are the special for your CDL. Yeah. Yo, Oma, I thought you would be live streaming your driving by looking at your thumbnail. I'm a little disappointed. Off and all, good luck. Thank you, brother. So we're going to run through this, guys, and see how well I do. Let's start going here. So we'll do, we've done knowledge test one. I gave you some questions. We'll run through it again, I guess. But this is through my state right now. So you guys can see those questions, okay? Are they good? There's a little bit, let me move this over a little bit more. Maybe size it more. Something like that. Okay, guys, so for question one, whenever you stop for a break during your trip, you should call in and check with dispatch. No. Check critical items such as fire, brakes, and cargo tie downs. That one. Or check critical items such as the windshield wipers, heater, and defroster. Probably not. Let's go B. And exactly, that's the answer. And I give you the explanation below there. For an on-road inspection, check the tires, wheels, and truck body for signs of heat whenever you stop during a trip. Okay? High beam should be used whenever it is safe and legal to do so. That is the answer to that one as well. Use high beams when it is safe and legal to do so. Use them when you are not within 500 feet of an approaching vehicle. What up there, Cody, my amigo? Junie? I see you, Martin the guy. Cool trolleys. Thank you, Martin the guy. Appreciate you, brother. One of them, I think the red one you saw was hydraulic brakes, and then the blue one was the air brakes. The safety relief valve is located on the air tanks and is used by what? Self-operated when the air pressure is above 150 psi is the answer there, friends. A safety relief valve is installed in the first tank the air compressor pumps air to. The safety valve protects the tank and the rest of the system from too much pressure. The valve is usually set to open automatically at 150 psi. So if the air tanks from the governor lets too much air in and it goes above 120 or 130 psi, if it does pump the air into the tanks and it's at 150 psi, it will release air so that the tanks don't explode. Yes, okay, so let's go. Let's go to the next one. Which of these is a proper use of vehicle lights and flashers? Turning on your headlights during the day when visibility is reduced due to rain or snow. Okay, I agree to that. Flashing your brake lights to warn others behind you of a hazard. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I think that would be nice. Flashing your brakes lights to warn someone behind you that you're going to stop. Obviously, that's true. So which of these are proper uses? I think all of them are correct. Okay. Which of the following is a key steering component, guys? Let me know in the chat. What do you think? What is the following key? What's a key steering component? What do you guys think that is? I know we went over this the other day, but let's see if you remember. Yeah, only me. And a lot of these are logic. Some of these are logic. You'll see what I'm talking about later. What do you guys think in the chat? Which of the following is a key steering component? Let's see if one of you guys can answer this. Yesterday, we put the answer up on the screen. Let's see if you remember. Anybody out there want to give it a shot? Well, since none of you know, it is the gearbox, guys. How can you start moving without rolling backward? Engage the clutch before removing your foot from the brake. Apply the trailer brake hand valve. Set the parking brake whenever necessary. Do all of the above. Oh, incorrect. I thought it was that. It's all of the above. Okay. There, I missed that one, guys. I thought it was just clutch the gate before moving your... Apply the trailer brake hand valve. That was probably, yeah, so I just fizzled on that one. Incorrect. Do all of the above on that one, okay? Oops. Which is not one of the 4 basic skills that operating a commercial motor vehicle requires. This one is obviously you need to be required to accelerate, steering, backing safely. First aid certification, not necessary, I don't think. What is the average reaction distance? Guys, we went over this yesterday. It is 61 feet. And I remember that because there's a 216 one as well, which has 61 in it, but it's in a 16 order. It's 1-6, so 6-1. That's how I remember this, so it's 61, right? The most common cause of serious vehicle skids is driving too fast for road conditions. Again, I'm trying to go through these because I know most of these. That first one, that's do all of them. Yeah, I'll know that for next time for sure. That's one I'll remember now. Thank you, Mikey Wells. The distance that you should look ahead of your vehicle while driving amounts to, at highway speeds, 1/4 mile. You must park on the side of a level, straight 2-lane road. Where should you place the 3 reflective triangles? This one is 10 feet to the rear of the vehicle, one about 100 feet to the rear, and one 100 feet from the front of the vehicle. That's the answer. No, that did not mean to select that one. That was not selected by me. I did not mean it to select A. It was B. I was selecting B. That was a misclick. I promise. It was B. I even said it too. So, boo-hoo. I missed that one. See, that was by accident. I won't be like that in the real test. It was actually B. It's B, not that one. If you are convicted for driving under the influence while driving a commercial vehicle, this is your first offense. You will most likely get 1 year suspension of your CDL. Front and header boards protect you from the cargo in case of collision and block the forward movement of your cargo. That one right there. We got a live 1/4 mile. Yeah, exactly. That's right there, rookie. What up there, rookie, my good friend? The formula for stopping this with air brakes is, it's always when you're doing a formula for stopping with air brakes, brake lag. If you don't see brake lag in this, it's not the answer. Brake lag distance is a thing because air takes time to get to the actual, S joint, the S to push against the brake rotor or drum. So it's brake lag distance. That's a nice way to look at it too, because that's the only one that has brake lag distance in it. So it's that one right there. Which of these statements about driving in areas with strong winds is true? I think we've been through this last stream, but we know winds are especially a problem when coming out of tunnels. That's your answer there. Which of these statements about crossing or entering traffic with a heavy vehicle is true? Heavy vehicles need larger gaps in traffic areas, because we read all the other ones and they were kind of cray-cray. So it's that one right there. If I'm not sure, I won't say, oh, I know this one, or like it's easy peasy. Like I'll be like, oh, what was this one again? Like I'll do that, right? If a vehicle continues to drive in your blind spot, you should speed up, signal them back to you, or back off. Back off. That way, if you back off and slow down, then they're going to want to get past you because they don't want to be behind a slow vehicle, so they'll pass and get out of your blind spot. You are driving a 40-foot vehicle at 40 miles an hour. Driving conditions are ideal. What is the least amount of space you should keep in front of your vehicle to be safe? Again, a 40-feet vehicle, every second for every 10 feet of vehicle, so that's 40-foot vehicle would be 4 seconds. But if you're over 40 miles an hour, you add an extra second. So 4 plus 1 is 5. The answer is 5. Axle weight means the following. The weight transmitted to the ground by one axle or one set of axles, guys. That's the answer. The new blood alcohol control or blood alcohol concentration for commercial drivers to be considered intoxicated when driving a commercial vehicle is 0.04, guys. It is illegal to operate a CMV if your blood alcohol concentration is 0.04 or more. If you operate a CMV, you shall be deemed to have given your consent to alcohol testing. That's also a question too later on one of these tests, that if you give given consent to your, as a CMV driver, you give consent. That's one of them. You give consent to an alcohol testing. Which of these statements about brakes is true? The heavier a vehicle or the faster it is moving, the more heat the brakes and absorb to stop it. That one is true. Brakes have more stopping power when they get very hot. No, that's not true. Brake drums cool very quickly when the wheel is moving very fast. No, I think it's this one right here. The heavier a vehicle or the faster it's moving, the more heat the brakes and that's like kind of a logical one, but you still got to read it just to make sure, right? So that one I know, okay. Your vehicle is in a traffic emergency and may collide with another vehicle if you do not act. Which of these is a good rule to remember in such a time? Stopping is always the safest action in a traffic emergency. Heavier vehicles can almost always turn more quickly than they can stop. Leaving the road is always riskier than hitting another vehicle. Now, you might think this stopping is always the safest action, but let's not forget, guys, stopping a vehicle that's hauling a trailer of a heavy load is going to be able, it's like a freight train. Think of a freight train, right? It takes a lot longer for the freight train to stop, right? So heavy vehicles can almost always turn quickly. That's the answer right there. I only remember that because I remember that's the answer. So if I didn't remember this answer, I'd be like, stopping's always the safest action. I probably would have selected that one, but I know this is the answer. So that's good. My buddy told me with this, just know all the answers and you're good, bro. Just know the answers. A moving vehicle ahead of you has a red triangle with an orange center on the rear. What does this mean, guys? I'm sure you've seen this on the roads. What does that mean when you see an orange? You see a red triangle with an orange center. It may be a slow-moving vehicle. The vehicle is hauling hazardous materials. It's a law enforcement vehicle. Come on. I know you guys know this one. You've seen it on the roads before. They're hauling really big cranes, and they have, you know what I'm talking about. What are we doing, guys? What is it? All right, you guys give up. I'll tell you what it is. It may be a slow-moving vehicle, okay? The parking brake should be tested while the vehicle is what, guys? Moving at a high speed. Obviously, this is parked. The parking brake should be tested while the vehicle is parked. That one a baby could probably answer. All right. A driver's grid log, if required. I had to remember this answer too, and I know it. But what do you guys think? A driver's grid log, if required, maybe brought up to date once a week, is also called a tachograph or tech, whatever. Must be shown immediately when offers to request it, or all answers are correct. I'll just give you a hint. It's not all answers are correct, by the way. Just because you see that option doesn't mean they're always correct, guys. Okay, just saying. Number 3 says Deke. Deke is correct. It must be shown immediately when an offer is to request it. Underloaded front axles can cause the following, guys. Kind of a logical question, but if you don't understand it, the unloaded part, I get it could be difficult, but unloaded from axles can cause what? The answer is poor traction, I think. I'm pretty sure. Okay, underloaded front axles can make the steering axle weight too light to steer safely. What should you do when your vehicle hydroplanes, guys? And you know what hydroplaning is, right? It's when you're going over some water and you lose traction of your wheels and you're surfing on the water, kind of. That's what would you do if your CMV hydroplanes, guys? Come on. Somebody give me the answer. Rookie says C, and you are absolutely correct, brother. I should give boom passes away for correct answers. Oh, Amy's here. What's up, sugar ship? How you doing? Hey, I like my beard, Amy. It's been a while, right? I like my beard. Release accelerator. Let's go. I might give a boom pass to one of you guys answering the questions, right? What do you guys think? Should I give a boom pass away to somebody? Let them answer the question? So look, guys, questions on test 50. Correct answers, you need to pass 40. So 80%, you can lose 10. All right, good job. You are traveling down a long, steep hill. Your brakes get so, you guys are, I know some of that's getting covered, huh? Your brakes get so hot that they fail. What should you do? You guys have seen this on downgrades. You've seen them. You are traveling down a long, steep hill. Your brakes get so hot that they fail. You're brakeless. What should you do? Deke's like, I know this one, bro. Look for an escape ramp. Exactly. You guys have seen those on the roads, right? There's some on the Cajon Pass. There's some escape ramps for runaway trucks. That's exactly what you do. Which of these statements about certain types of cargo is true? I know this answer by memory, but let's see what you guys think. Unstable loads such as hanging meat or livestock requires extra caution on curves. Oversized loads can be hauled without special... Gosh, I know that. Let me move this over more because the questions, you guys can't see all the answers per se. So sorry. There we go. We'll go like that. There we go, OP. Actually, let me see if I can cut that part off so that way the chat's behind the red and blue. Let's go like that. Yeah. Let's go. Okay. Which one do you guys think it is? Deke says 1. Are you cheating, bro? Fezzy says C. It's actually A. Hanging meat or livestock requires extra caution on turns. It's that one right there. Only because I remembered that one. If I didn't remember this one, I'd be like, I don't know, man. Wild guess. But I know a lot of these answers. There are some I know, but I might still fizzle on, like that other one. All of the above were the correct one, remember? All right, you do not have a... Okay, here we go. You do not have a hazardous materials endorsement on your commercial vehicle driver's license. When can you drive a vehicle hauling hazardous materials? Never. Only when the vehicle does not have required placards. Only when the shipment will not cross state lines. Someone give me the answer to that one. Never, only when the vehicle does not require placards, or only when the shipment will not cross state lines. Fezzy's saying A. Ooh, Deke's agreeing with them. The answer is not A, it's B. Only when the vehicles do not require placards. You can drive a vehicle that carries hazardous materials if it does not require placards. If it requires placards, you cannot drive it unless your driver's license has the hazardous materials endorsement. Yeah, if I didn't remember this answer, well, I actually know it too, but if I would have said never. That's a tricky question, guys. Okay. You should stop driving. Now, anybody, if I said someone give me a boom pass, I'll give you I'm not going to, but this one's, you should stop driving. Come on. Anybody could answer this one. When you become too sleepy, man. Like, I want these questions on my test. If you look sleepy or you just feel sleepy, then stop driving, exclamation mark. You are in a various dangerous condition. The only safe cure is to siesta or sleep or whatever. Rest. Okay. The amount of liquid to load in a tank depends on the amount of liquid will expand in transit, the weight of the liquid, the legal weight limits. I believe all answers are correct here. I think it's all answers are correct. I'm pretty sure it's all answers that are correct. Okay, we're good. They seem about right? You can know that. I wasn't 100% knowing this. I 95% knew it was all. But like, think about it. The amount of liquid to load into a tank depends on the amount of liquid that will expand the transit, the weight of it, obviously, right? The center of gravity weight, the legal weight limits. You got to know the weight limits in a state to be able to transport stuff, right? So all answers are correct. All right, the two basic reasons to cover your cargo are, number 1, to protect the cargo from the weather, and 2, protect people from spilled cargo, protect the roadway from spilled cargo, protect vehicle following you. I would say all answers are correct because you'll protect all that to cover it. It makes sense. All of the above. I mean, right? You guys agree, right? I agree, and they agree too. All right, so there we go. Makes sense. There are 3 types of vehicle inspections. Which one is one of them? I know this one. There are only 3. There's a pre-trip, an en route, and a post-trip. Which one is one of them? They're all one of them, so that would be all answers are correct. Inspect your cargo after you have driven how many miles, guys? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not D. It's one of the three up top. Which one is how many miles to drive before you inspect your cargo? Fez, I said D was not even the answer. Did you say it before I said that? Maybe you did. It's not. I like that one, says Rookie. I know, right? There is a certain miles you have to check. Fez says A. You were wrong, sir. It's 50 miles. Inspect the cargo and could you imagine? You're hauling cargo. You're expected to inspect it every 50 miles, every hour. Like, that's cray-cray, man. Inspect the cargo and its securing devices within the first 50 miles after beginning a trip. Make any adjustments needed. Oh, within the first 50 miles. Okay, so this is within the first, okay, whatever. It's 50, I just know that. All right. According to the driver's manual, why should you limit the use of your horn? You know that horn, that train horn? That big old, yeah, that. Why should you limit the use of your horn, guys? It can startle the drivers, other drivers. It wears down the battery. The horn is not a good way to let others know you are there. Rookie says A. I like A too, bro. I don't want to startle people. Which of these can cause a fire, guys? Now, I'm 90% sure on this one. Loose fuel connections, I know can probably. Electrical short circuits can. But I know and I'm pretty sure underinflated tires is the answer. Not all of them. See, this is the one where, like, I got to remember when these all the answers are correct, because that's the one that, and I'm glad there's not many of them. There are some of them that I know off the top, but this one is either underinflated tires or all of them. I'm really thinking it's underinflated tires. If I'm wrong, then yes, all answers are correct. I know that there's also, yeah, you don't want loose fuel connections. I get that. I'm going to go with A, guys, because I'm 95% sure it's A. I think only me and Fezman know what's up, bro. I'm going to go A, guys. Oh, snap. All answers are correct. Okay, now I know this. But there's another question where it does tell underinflated tires. Like, what do you put out? Like, there is another question where underinflated tires is the answer, and this is not it right here. I was wrong. So we've missed 3 already. One of them was a misclick that was not supposed to be. So 2, but it counted as 3. So I have 3 missed already. No, it was common sense, Rookie, but there's another question in this line of questions, bro, where underinflated tires was the answer. And it might come up. We'll see. You'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, that is true. And I was only 95% correct. Like, again, I wasn't like saying, look at me, I know this. But yeah, that I will know tomorrow that that's the answer. Okay. You are checking your brakes and suspension system for a pre-trip inspection. Which of these statements is true? Brake shoes should not be worn dangerously thin. Brake pads should not have brake fluid on them. One missing leaf in a leaf spring can be dangerous. I know this one. It's all the answers are correct. You don't want any of that to be taking place when you're doing a pre-trip. You are driving on a 2-lane road. An oncoming driver drifts into your lane and is headed straight for you. Which of these is generally the best action? Hard braking, steering into the oncoming lane, steer onto the left shoulder, steer to the right. I know this one. What do you guys think? I'll give you an option to answer. Can you tell me why, says Martin. Tell you why what, bud? Oh, Stuart, my friend, I'm doing the written test, not the driving test tomorrow, bro. This is for my permit, bro. Next, after the permit, when I get that, if I get that, I go to a class to do 15 hours of drive time or whatever. And then after that 15 hours, I take the road test, bro. That's when it gets gnarly, bro. That's when I'm gonna need you guys' prayers. D says, Fezman, you are correct. Steer to the right. If an oncoming driver has drifted into your lane, a move to your right is best. If that driver realizes what has happened, the natural response will be turned to his left to his or her own lane. For an average commercial vehicle being driven at 55 miles on dry pavement, it will take about blank to bring the vehicle to a stop. I know this one too as well, guys. It's pretty amazing. I'm shocked. Think about this for a second. Those big rigs going 55 miles an hour on the freeways or the highways that you see and pass, it will take about blank to bring the vehicle to a complete stop. You guys are going D on that, huh? Could you imagine what the answer really is? The answer is more than the length of a football field. So what I'm trying to say is if you're in a lane and you see a big rig behind you, get out of the lane. Don't let it, don't have a problem where it has to brake hard because it'll probably hit you. Just don't get behind it and be behind it very long. If you can get out of that lane, get out of the lane. That's all I would say. More than the length of a football field. Think about the weight of those things, man. It's like a freight train, guys. It's like a freight train. What happens when tar heats up? Tar on the road, you know tar? It will give the tires more traction. It will make the motor road slippery. It will make the tires stick to the road. The answer is B, my good friends. It will make it slippery. Tar in the road pavement frequently rises to the surface in very hot weather. Spots where tar bleeds to the surface are very slippery. I did not know that, but I do now. In snow and ice, you should reduce your speed by... This one here, I know there's one for rain. I think a rain, it's a half. No. Is it a third? See, this one's here. Okay, I got to check back on this one. It's either a third or a half. I think it's a third. Because snow and ice, man, it's a lot more dangerous to drive in that than rain, I think. I would say a third. I'm going to say a third because of the logic of snow and ice. You don't want to be driving too fast. I'm going to say third. I'm going to go with my answer. Oh, it's a half. Damn. Okay. I'm telling you guys, I was wrong. On packed snow, reduce speed by a half or more. So it's a third when the rain. If the surface is icy, reduce speed to crawl and stop driving as soon as you can safely to do so. Oh, a half's more than a third, you noob. Oh, that means you break you. Oh man, dude, that was logic. I just completely it went in my ear, in my brain, and I processed that a third was more. A half is more than a third. What a noob. I deserve to fail now because of that. The more braking, the more reducing of speed is a half is more. What in the world? What a noob. I should have known that one, guys. I did. How many tie downs are required for a 20-foot load? They require a tie down every 10 feet. So what's 20 feet, guys? What do you think? I think it's 2. Cargo should have at least 1 tie down for each 10 feet of cargo. Make sure you have enough tie downs to meet this need. For a 20-foot load, you would need at least 2 tie downs. It has just reached freezing. Which of the following areas may be slippery? A wet-looking road? A bridge? A shaded area? Or all of the above? So if it's freezing, a wet-looking road might be frozen. I think they all are above or correct. Yeah, this one is true. All the above. Here are some signs of slippery roads, shaded areas, bridges, melting ice. Black ice makes the road look wet and just after rain begins. Which of the following statements about an escape ramp is false? You guys remember the escape ramp? If a runaway truck is going down a hill, it needs to stop. It runs up. Huh? Not right now. No, you can't. You had some of that trolley. Okay. Which of the following statements about an escape ramp is false, guys? It's a false statement. It may turn uphill. That's true, right? Right? It may be located a few miles from the top of a downgrade. That's true. It may be made of soft gravel, and that's definitely true. It's of rocks, right? It is not useful if you're traveling too fast. That's the purpose of it. If you can't stop. That is the answer. D is the answer. Congratulations, Fezman, rookie. Only me. Okay, next one, guys. You should inspect wheel bearing seals for what, guys? Wheel bearing seals for what? Leaks, broken leaf springs, twisted axles, tears. The answer is leaks. ABR, Amy is alive. Yeah, she was here, ABR. I don't know if she's still here, but she's here. All right, leaks, guys, was the answer. Before transporting a sealed load, you must check a small sample of whatever is inside, a picture of whatever is inside, that you don't exceed gross weight or actual weight limits, or all of the above. What do you guys think this one is? I don't know this one, says Rookie. I do. I just remember it. The answer is C. You cannot inspect seal loads, but you should check that they don't exceed the gross weight and axle limits. That's the answer. So all the above are always the answers. Remember on tests in school when you see the all the above or none of the above, you're like, yeah, that's an easy answer because that's probably what it is. Not all the time here, okay? While driving at night, which light should you use as often as you can? Does anybody know this one? I would think people, think about the deserts where it's dark. When driving at night, which light should you use as often as you can? This one I think people should get. D says rookie high beams, yeah, to blind other drivers. Now that you don't want to do that, ABR, but yeah, high beams is the answer. Look, ABR, they only want you using high beams when it's safe and legal to do so. Use them when you are not within 500 feet of an approaching vehicle. Not to blind them, bro. I love it, though. If the engine is not overheated, is it completely safe to remove the radiator cap, guys? I would think most people would know this, but you never know. There is a point where you can, but it's a tricky question. There's another part to it. But in this case, if an engine is not overheated, is it completely safe to remove the radiator cap? Rookie says B. That's not the answer, Rookie. The answer is, like you guys said, no. Never remove the radiator cap or any part of the pressurized system until the system has cooled. Steam and boiling water can spray under pressure and cause severe burns. There is another question like this. There's a reservoir tank that's not part of the pressurized portion of the radiator. You can check it then, but that's not the question here. There's one like that here. This doesn't say the reserve tank, reservoir tank. Your emergency kit does not need to include, this is obvious. Your emergency kit does not need to include it should include a fire extinguisher. It should include a spare electrical fuses, warning devices, a spare jacket. I don't think it needs to do that one. That's an obvious one too. Anybody could probably answer that one maybe. Calculate score, 92%. I did miss that one by an auto click by accident that I wouldn't have missed, so it would have been like a 96, I think, or whatever. But a 92 is a passing grade, guys. We did 50 right there. You passed with a score of 92. Let's go. All right. We'll try one more knowledge test here. Then I'll do a couple passenger ones because I know we did the first one yesterday, so we've done that one. There's only 2, 3, and 4 here, and there's only 25 questions on those ones. But let's do one more, number 2. Oh, this is another one here. Okay, what is counter steering? I believe, I'm 95% it's turning the wheel in the opposite direction after steering to avoid a traffic emergency. Okay, I'm pretty confident on that one, but yes, counter steering is turning the wheel in the opposite direction after steering to avoid a traffic emergency. You are driving on a straight level highway at 50 miles an hour. There are no vehicles in front of you. Suddenly, a tire blows out on your vehicle. What should you do first? AVR. Hey, man, that's the answer, bro. I don't argue with him. Ooh, Rookie's like, I know this one, dude. If a tire blows out of your vehicle, the obvious would be to brake, right? Like you don't want to keep going, right? No, the answer is A. Stay off the brake until the vehicle slows down on its own. It's natural, it says, to want to brake in an emergency. However, braking when a tire has failed could cause loss of control. Once the vehicle has slowed down, brake very gently, pull off the road, and stop. What is the acronym IPDE method of driving stand for? I know this one. You guys might Google it right now just to see if you know, but I know what it is. I don't expect you to know it, but the answer is identify, predict, decide, execute. C. Which of these statements about using mirrors is true? You should look at a mirror for several seconds at a time. No, because you need to keep your eyes back to the front. That's a false one. Convex mirrors make things look closer than they really are. They don't make them look closer. They make them look farther away. So that's false. There are blind spots that your mirror cannot show you. That's very true. Let's see if the last one's true. You should check your mirrors twice for a lane change. Twice? Okay, whatever. It's actually C. Convex mirrors present a view of people and objects that does not accurately reflect their size and distance from the vehicle. So that one is, there are blind spots. Yeah, that is true. There's blind spots, guys. There are blind spots. No matter how small the cargo is, it should have at least, no matter how small the cargo is, guys, it should have at least how many tie downs? Do you remember? Do you remember? Justin is here, says 2. It says no matter how small it is, it has to have at least 1, I think. Oh, it was 2. Son of a gun. I thought that was for every 10 feet. See, they didn't clarify here. It does say no matter how small the cargo is. Justin, you were correct. It was 2. I know it's 2 because it's 1 for every 10 feet, but they didn't specify it here. No matter how much. It didn't say a 10-foot cargo needs how many? 1. I got to remember, it's always 2 no matter. If they specify a feet of the cargo shipment, then answer correctly. But you're right. You were right. 2 was the answer, and I was wrong. I'll remember that no matter. This is so helping me, guys. Remember this stuff. All right, we lost 1 right now in this 50 question. You have left the road in an emergency condition. It is impossible for you to come to a stop prior to returning to the road. Which of the following is the best action to take? You're headed somewhere to slam into something. It's impossible for you to come to a stop. Make sure the road is clear and continue to return to the road. Stop and turn your vehicle around before entering the road. Reduce your speed at 20 or less before returning to the road. Reduce your speed to 20 is the answer. If possible, avoid using the brakes until your speed is dropped to 20 miles. Guys, they are really hardcore on using your brakes because big rigs, when they use their brakes, they burn them hot really fast. And brakes are built to withstand heat, but not a lot of heat. Because if you get a lot too much heat on brakes on these big rigs, they will fade and you'll lose your braking power. So you have to, they rely most on the shifting, right? You use the engine to help cause, because if you gear down, it slows your car down, right? That gear. Have you ever had a gear where you go into like first or whatever, and it's like your car kind of slows down a little bit? They want you to use the engine to slow down your vehicle before actually, because when you do that, you're on your brakes a lot lighter. Get that? Get that? All right. I get it. It makes sense. Tie downs, here we go again. Must be of the proper type and strength. The combined length of the cargo tie downs must be strong enough to lift the weight of the cargo tie down 1 1/2 times the weight of the cargo tie down, twice the weight of the cargo tie down, 3 times the weight of the cargo. Now, if I did not know this answer, I would probably get it wrong. But I do know this answer, and the answer is B. 1 1/2 times. And one way to look at it too is all the other answers have a T in the first letter. So it's the oddball out, odd man out, which is the O, oddball, 1 1/2 times. I already knew this, but it's a good way to remember it. There's just an O of the answer. That's the answer. There we go. Your brakes can get wet when you drive through heavy rain. What can this cause when the brakes are applied? Wheel lockup, trailer jackknife, lack of braking power. I would say all answers are correct. Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree? All right. When driving in heavy rain or deep standing water, your brakes will get wet. Water in the brakes can cause the brakes to be weak, to apply unevenly, or to grab. This can cause lack of braking power, wheel lockups, pulling to one side or the other, and jackknife if you are pulling a trailer. How far should a driver look ahead of his vehicle while driving? I know this one, but do you guys? This is a good one. I learned this in UPS when I went to UPS defensive driving school, but this is also the same answer here. Oh, Rick's all, I know it, bro. You know it, bro. You do know it, bro. 12 to 15 seconds, guys. Most good drivers, this is even Class C drivers, you guys on the roads, look at least 12 to 15 seconds ahead. Scan the area ahead. That means looking ahead the distance you will travel in 12 to 15 seconds. That way you know when to stop if you see a hazard. That defines a good defensive driver, guys, if you're doing that. Look ahead. Don't be just, It does depend on the speed. It's 6 to 8 seconds or 9 seconds if you're under 35 miles an hour per UPS. Anything greater than 35 or 40 miles an hour, it's 12 to 15 seconds. Now, this was talking UPS, those big brown trucks and stuff. So again, I'm sure bigger vehicles more, but I mean, 12 to 15 seconds is a lot of time. That's extra defensive I don't know if I'm, and a way to count that, guys, is you look at a pole or an object like a tree on the side of the road about that far ahead. And what you do is when you see the car ahead of you, past that, you start going 1 1,000, 2 1,000, until your front bumper of that vehicle gets up to that pole or tree or whatever you marked. That's your following distance. Okay? Which of these statements about speed management is true? Oh, here we go. Remember this, guys? Which of these are true? On a wet road, rainy road, you should reduce your speed by 1/3. We know that. That's true, right? On packed snow, remember this one? You should reduce your speed by 1/2. I got that wrong, but that's true. So if those are both true, it's probably all answers, right? When the road is slippery, it will take longer to stop. That makes sense. And it will be harder to turn without skidding. That makes sense. All answers are correct. If you just take the time to read through this and see, now I know, look, rainy weather, 1/3, snowy, icy weather, 1/2. There we go. You are driving a new truck with a manual transmission. What gear will you probably have to use to take a long downhill grade? The same gear you would use to climb the hill? A lower gear than you would use to climb the hill? A higher gear than you would use to climb the hill? Who said B? Rookie? Yeah, you're right. A lower gear than you would use to climb it, right? Drivers of modern trucks may have to use a lower gear when going downhill. So like if I was driving a big rig, I'm not going to, but if I was going down the Grapevine or the Cajon Pass, and there's a steep, it's like a 6% grade, like down, I would be pushing my gear into first gear, man. Just kind of, and what it says, there's a safe speed too, because you're going to pick up speed with all that weight, right? When your car gets up to, I think past 35 miles an hour, or 40 miles an hour, you use the brakes to ease back to 35 miles an hour. Ease off the brakes so you don't press them too hard. Go back to 40, ease them back on to 35 miles. You just play that game. But you're in first, I would go first gear. How do you correct a rear wheel acceleration skid? How do you correct a rear wheel acceleration skid? You know how I know this one too, guys? Because the word is in the answer and the question. Which one is that? Stop accelerating, bro. I see acceleration skid. That would make sense. Just stop accelerating, bro. You know what I mean? Skids caused by acceleration usually happen on ice or snow. Taking your foot off the accelerator can easily stop them. If it's very slippery, push the clutch in. Otherwise, the engine can keep the wheels from rolling freely and regain traction. Which is a good rule to follow when using a fire extinguisher, guys. Come on. What's a good rule? If you guys have ever used one, what's a good rule? Keep it as close to the fire as possible. Stay downwind of the fire. Aim at the base of the fire. Come on, guys. What's the answer? Thank you, Justin. I mean, another awesome. I love these easy peasy lemon squeezy ones. All right. Too much weight on the steering axle can cause the following, guys. Too much weight on the front steering axle. Hard steering, I would say, yeah. Damage to the steering, I mean, too much weight, yeah, I would think would be a lot of pressure on the damage to the tires. I mean, yeah, those tires have to hold that up. I would say all answers are correct, and I think we are correct if we do that. Bam! I mean, let's go. Let's go, baby. All right. Covering the brake means to have your foot over the brake and ready to push it if necessary. Pushing the brake lightly and rapidly. Pushing on the brake just enough to make the vehicle brake lights come on. I know this one. Do you guys know it? What do you got there? What do you got there? Justin says C. It's not C. It is to have your foot over the brake. Covering the brake involves taking your right foot off the accelerator and holding it over the brake pedal. Your foot should hover over the brake pedal and not rest on it in any way. Which of these statements about drugs is true? A driver can use any prescription drugs while driving. Amphetamines can be used to help the driver stay alert. Really, bro? Use of drugs can lead to accidents and or arrest. C, maybe? Bingo! Use of drugs can lead to, yeah, obviously, like, don't drink and drive, don't drugs and drive, don't do any of that stuff, man. Don't be stupid. All right. To prevent shifting, oh, here we go. To prevent shifting, there should be at least one tie down for every how many feet of cargo? Are you guys remembering? We saw this before. How many tie downs? It was 10. Cargo should have at least one tie down for each 10 feet of cargo. Make sure you have enough tie downs to meet this need. So when it mentioned earlier, when I said 1, when it was 2, it didn't say 10 feet. It didn't classify the footage. It says no matter small, we don't know. Small could be 10 feet. Small could be 20 feet. We don't know. But when it's vague like that, it's always 2 tie downs, right? Where or when should you test the stopping action of your service brakes? In a parking lot when the vehicle is not moving? When the vehicle is moving about 5 miles an hour at a special brake testing center only. When or when should you test your stopping action of your service? Your service brakes are your ones where when you're driving, you push the brake pedal down, you know, you brake. When would you guys say? B and bust on, you are correct. You obviously, when you're going 5, you can test your brakes to make sure that they're right. This is for air pressure. Wait for normal air pressure. This is about air pressure. For me, I need to know this. You are driving a heavy vehicle and must exit a highway using an off-ramp that curves downhill. Remember, guys, when we're going downhill, we want to downshift, right? So let's see what's up. You should slow down to a safe speed before the turn. Slow to the posted speed limit for the cutoff ramp, for the off-ramp. Come to a full stop at the ramp, at the top of the ramp. I don't know about that. Wait until you are in a curve before downshifting. No, I would say C and D are Slow down to a safe speed before the turn. A, I believe, is the answer. I'm 95% sure. Slow down to a safe speed before the turn, guys. When exiting the expressway, make necessary traffic checks, use proper signals, decelerate smoothly in the exit lane. Hey, everyone, I'm watching but doing water shuttling for the fire. So chatty, nice. Thank you, Wyatt, brother. Appreciate you. When should you wear seatbelts, guys? Now, this is another one too. I would say if you don't get this one, you should deserve to fail. But when should you wear seatbelts, guys? Anytime you are in a moving vehicle. I shouldn't have to look at the other two, unless it's all of the above. Only in states where it's required by law. Stupid. Only when traveling on a highway? Come on. Use your seatbelt, exclamation mark. The driver's seat should have a seatbelt. Always use it for safety. Ooh, here we go. Of which fires can you use the ABC fire extinguisher on, guys? ABC covers them all. So I believe it's all answers are correct. I believe it's D. Yeah, ABC is like, that's all there. That's the best, the biggest, best one. I think all answers are correct. Class A is for trash, wood, and paper. I should remember this too, because there are some other ones too, like BC. What's a BC good one for? Class B is for liquids and gases, and Class C is for energized electrical sources. So all answers are correct. So yeah, there are other questions on here where I have to know. So Class A is for trash, wood, and paper. So okay, Class A is for kind of the normal one, right? Just trash, wood, paper. Class B is for liquids and gases. So B, how can I use B for liquids? Like beer, beverage, liquids, right? Beverage, liquids. C for energized electrical, like circuits. Like circuit is C, electrical circuits, right? Got to use your noggin for that. A for trash, wood, and paper would be A for A for apple wood. whatever. Makes sense, right? B for beverages, like liquids, gases. C, I'm not even looking. C, circuits, electrical hazard, fires, boom, got it. So all the above, that's right. But they do ask specifics later, and now that I know, I use that kind of common sense. It kind of makes sense, right? You guys like it? I like it. All right. Some traffic emergencies may require you to leave the road. Which of these is a good thing to remember? If you must leave the road, try to get all the wheels off the pavement and at least one side of the vehicle's tires off the road. Brake gently to avoid skidding. Use hard braking if you are moving at a speed greater than 20 miles an hour. I would never use hard braking, so I don't think that's true or good to remember. Most shoulders will not support a large vehicle. That's not always true, too. A is the answer, I'm pretty sure. That's it. In some emergencies, you may have to drive off the road. It may be less risky than facing a collision in another vehicle. Most shoulders are strong enough to support the vehicle of a large vehicle, and therefore offer an available escape route, guys. It says if you must leave the road, try to get all the wheels off the pavement or at least one side of the wheels tires off the road. Okay. Dry bulk tanks require special care because of what, guys? They have a high center of gravity. Load can shift, both above or none of the answers. A and B are correct, so it should be both above. I mean, dry bulk tanks, right? They have a high center of gravity, yes. They can shift, right? They can shift. What should you do to put out a gasoline fire, guys? Remember, gases, water is... What do you guys think about this one? What would you use to put out a gasoline fire? Yes, rookie, dirt is the answer. Can you believe that? If there's a gasoline fire, just your regular dirt, man, to put it out. That's crazy. Gasoline fires may be extinguished by smothering wet rags. I guess that could be the answer. Woolen cloth, sand, earth of ashes. I guess if wet rags were there too, that could be an answer, but they didn't have it up there. Or nothing because you're not a firefighter. In California, don't you have to add, not apparently to this test there, Zendo. Some liquid tanks are divided into several smaller tanks by what, guys? I know the answer. Bulkheads, baffles, or containers. I know this one. What do you guys think? Deke is saying baffles. I am sorry, you were wrong. A or C, guys. A or C. Wait. Some liquid tanks are divided by... Oh, I thought it was bulkheads. I know baffles was something about liquid. Yeah, you know what? I thought it was bulkheads, guys. I'm stuck here. I know baffles is to control are divided into smaller tanks. I think it's bulkheads, man. Bulkheads! I was right! Some liquid tanks are divided into several smaller tanks by bulkheads. When loading and unloading the smaller tanks, the driver must pay attention to weight distribution. I knew it was bulkheads. And I'm like, Justin's like on point with all these questions. Like he's telling me it's bulkheads. Baffles, there's a question for the baffles on here and I know what the answer is. And I was like, I don't think it's baffles, man. Bulkheads, I was right. Bulkheads. Well, that might be dumb, Justin, but I got an answer just like that in the test. When driving a commercial vehicle with a height over 13 feet, you should not worry about the clearance. Obvious you should. Assume all clearances are high enough. Why would you do that? If you aren't sure about the clearance, stop and make sure. I think that's more suitable as an answer. All answers are correct? No, never. I'm saying C, and I know it's C. Hitting overhead objects is a danger. Make sure you have overhead clearance. We're almost done with this test, I think. Then we'll move to the passenger one. They'll wrap it up because I know these are a 50-question test, guys. You must inspect your cargo before starting, every 3 hours or 150 miles, after every break. All answers are correct. Yep, D is the answer. As part of your vehicle inspection, make sure the truck is not overloaded and the cargo is balanced and secured properly. You need to inspect your car. You need to inspect again after you've driven for 3 hours or 150 miles, and after every break you take during driving. Cargo covers cargo covers, the covers that protect cargo, protect people from spilled cargo? I would say yes. Protect cargo from weather? I would say yes. May be required by law? I would say yes. So that leaves us with all answers are correct. Which of these is a good rule to follow when driving at night? Keep your speed slow enough so that you could stop within the range of your headlights. That makes kind of sense. We'll see if others one. Look directly at oncoming headlights only briefly. Why would you do that? Wear sunglasses. I'm going to wear sunglasses at night? Like, that's a dumb answer. Think of something better than that. Keep your instrument lights bright. You never, like, what? It's A. It has to be A. Okay. Stab braking should never be used. Should only be used on slick roads. Involves locking the wheels. Involves steady pressure on the brake pedal, guys. Which one is this one? I know this one. What do you guys think? Stab braking should never be used, says Tiago. That is not the answer, bud. Deke is saying C, and I like C. It involves locking the wheels briefly. With stab braking method, you apply your brakes all the way and release the brakes when the wheels lock up. So when you feel that lockup of wheels, you get off the brakes so you get traction again. Then you do it again, and then release when you get locked up. That's what stab braking is. Your vehicle has hydraulic brakes. While traveling on a level road, you press the brake pedal and find that it goes to the floor. Which of these statements is true? You should not downshift if you have an automatic transmission. Pumping the brake pedal may bring the pressure up so you can stop the vehicle. The parking brake will not work either because it is part of the same hydraulic system. I know this answer. Do you? I know there's ways not to do it on slick roads just on, but that's another thing, but that's what it was for. Ooh, Deke says B. Deston says B. I think we're good. I knew that one. Pumping the brake. Sometimes pumping the brake pedal will generate enough hydraulic pressure to stop the vehicle. You're driving a heavy vehicle with a manual transmission. You must stop the vehicle on the shoulder while driving on an upgrade. Which of these is a good rule to follow when putting it back in motion? Keep the clutch slipping while slowly accelerating. Use the parking brake to hold the vehicle until the clutch engages. Let the vehicle roll backwards a few. Why would you do that? I mean, maybe, I guess, but I don't know. Let the vehicle roll backwards a few feet before you get... I wouldn't do that either. Why would I want to go backwards? I think it's B. Yeah, B. I thought A too, Deke, but it's B. I picked A the first time and I was wrong. I'm like, oh, snap. Keeping the parking brake set until you can feel the pull of the vehicle against the brakes will help you get moving on an uphill. So that's it. If you have the parking brake on and you'll feel the pull. I can never say I will feel that because I won't be driving one of these 18-wheelers. But it's a really good knowledge. If you guys are out there looking to be a truck driver, this is really good knowledge. Now, obviously, if you live in a state not California, choose your state because it might obviously. I mean, you have different weather conditions and you might need to know different things, right? So, all right, that one okay. If you are being tailgated, you should increase the space in front of you. Flash your brake lights, speed up, signal the tailgater when it is safe to pass. What do you guys think here? Ooh, rookie saying signal tail. No, you'd never want to signal to the tail. Never. That's a no-no. Because if you signal and they get in an accident, bro, you're liable for that. That's a question on here. That's not the answer, Tiago. Increase the space in front of you. If you find yourself being tailgated, here are some things you can do to reduce the chance of a crash. Oh, I should probably turn my... Oh, no. Oops. Okay. If you find yourself being tailgated, here are some things you can do to reduce the chances of a crash. Avoid quick changes. Increase your following distance. Opening up room in front of you will make it easier for the tailgater to get around you. Don't speed up. You are checking your wheels and rims for a pre-trip inspection. Okay, this is before you get into the vehicle and drive. Which of these statements is true? So you're checking the wheels. Oh, Wyatt Earp, my brother. Thank you, man. Look at that. I love the sun. That's such a cute sunshine. Oh, it reminds me of my wife, bro. Oh, my God. I love it, bro. I love it. Thank you, YouTube, for that. That brightened my day. My wife brightens my day. All right. You're checking your wheels for a pre-trip. You don't want rust around wheel nuts because I mean, that's a good one. So that's true, I would say, right? Cracked wheels or rims can be used if they have been welded. Wait a second. Cracked wheels or rims can be used if they've been welded. That's not a good idea. A vehicle can be safely driven with one missing lug nut on a wheel. Come on, man. On a big rig? I don't think so. Mismatched lock rings can be used on the same... What? No. Rust around that. A. Axe! We got Axe in here, my amigo. Axe Darby, what's up, bro? Just practicing for tomorrow's test at the DMV. How am I doing, guys? I had a couple kerfuffles, but I can miss 10 on this 50. How am I doing so far? What would you guys think? Am I passing my general knowledge test? All right, guys. If you are confronted by an aggressive driver, what should you do? Avoid eye contact? Probably. Call the police from your cell phone if you can do it safely? Probably. Ignore rude gestures and refuse to react negatively. I would say all of them are correct, and I think they all are. First and foremost, make every attempt to get out of their way. Do not challenge them by speeding up. Avoid eye contact. Ignore gestures and refuse to react, and report aggressive drivers to the appropriate authorities. You don't want to be a distracted driver, so none of us want to be distracted drivers, right? So you should have all your emotionally difficult conversations in the first hour of driving. Of course you shouldn't. Eat, drink, and smoke only on straight portions of the road. ABR would probably say that's the answer. Avoid using your cell phones until you reach your destination. Read maps or use your phone only when there are no other vehicles around you. Obviously, guys, avoid using your cell phone. Right? No, you can't even do that, bro. Looking at your cell phone on your hand, even if you're in a free, is illegal, Tiago, where we live. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. What is a common cause of tire fires? Oh, here we go. They mentioned it. Tire fires. Underinflated tires, cold tires, overinflated tires, or all of the above. The answer, because I told you before we'd see it again, this is saying tire fires. So the fires is everything else, like all above. It's underinflated tires. Underinflated tires and duals that touch are the most common causes of truck fires. Can you believe that? I did not even know that, but I do now. Do empty trucks have the best braking, guys? Yes, but only on wet surfaces. No. Yes, but only if the trucks are newer than 1998. What's that got to do with anything? Yes. Which one's this one, guys? The answer, like Deke said, is no. Empty trucks require grading stopping distance because an empty vehicle has less traction. Think about that. Right? Less traction. Yeah. Maybe we got this one before, remember? How far ahead should you look while driving? Remember this one, guys? What was it? We've seen it before, right? No, only me. Were you not here for the other first one? C, 12 to 15 seconds, guys. Which of the following should you not do if you experience a tire failure? Brake hard and immediately. Beware that a tire has failed. Stay off the brake pedal. Hold the steering wheel firmly. Which of the following should you not do if you experience a tire failure? I would say A. I'm 95% sure. I forgot about this one. Stay off the brake pedal. If you experience a tire failure, what you should not do. I would say brake. Yeah, I think it's brake. Yeah. Yeah. Remember, read it. What you should not do. Obviously, I selected the holding the steering wheel firmly. I didn't read I'm going to be very slow reading these, guys. Brake hard and immediately if you experience a tire failure. To respond to a tire failure, you must immediately hold the steering wheel firmly. So you should do that. Stay off the brake. You should do that. That's an answer. Check the tires after you've come to a stop. So that's what you should not do. Don't brake hard and immediately. What might happen if you swing wide to the left before you turn right? You know, some trailers have to go a lot wider because they got a wider wheel well, right? And they got to turn, otherwise they'll clip the curb or the sidewalk. What might happen if you swing wide to the left before you turn right? Someone might try to pass you on the right. I think so. Remember, the vehicles, beware, vehicles make wide turns, you know. You might damage your leaf springs. Someone might try to pass you on your left. If you're making a right, how are they going to pass you on your left? That's not, all of them might happen. No, the answer is someone might pass you on the right. If you were driving a truck or bus that cannot make the right turn without swinging into another lane, turn wide as you complete the turn. Don't turn wide to the left as you start the turn. A following driver might think you are turning left and try to pass you on the right. What will help someone who is drunk sober up? I would think you guys would know this one. What's going to help someone who is drunk sober up, guys? Let's be honest. Time. Christina says just, sheesh. Total stopping distance equals what? I know this one. The perception distance, the reaction distance, and the braking distance, guys. It says in vehicles with air brakes, you must include the brake lag distance. Remember the brake lag we saw on the question before? For air brakes, it's the brake lag. That has to be in that as well. Convex curved mirrors show a wider area than flat mirrors. I would say that's true. Make objects appear larger than they really are. Not really. Make objects appear closer than they really are. They show a wider area than flat mirrors. Containerized loads are typically used for freight carried partway by rail or ship. Should come with their own tie-down devices. Do not need to be inspected or secured by the driver. I know the answer on this one. Just on this, you saying A for this one, Justin? Oh, that was that one. Okay, Deke says A. The answer is A. Containerized loads generally are used when freight is carried part by rail or ship. Delivery by truck occurs at the beginning and or end of the journey. This one's pretty standard too. How many red triangles, reflective triangles, should one carry in a commercial vehicle? The answer is what? Deke, you are correct. It is 3. Safety requirements calls for 3 red reflective triangles. How does bleeding tar affect the road surfaces? Remember this, guys? The bleeding tar does not affect the road surface or drive. Yes, it does. It is very sticky and slows down your vehicle. No. Tar rises to the road surface in a very hot weather, causing the road to become very slippery. We saw this before. They just reword it differently. The answer is C. What do you guys think? Do I have a good grasp on this test so far? You guys agree? I hope you guys agree. I hope you guys agree. Remember this one, guys? Dry bulk tanks and hanging meat. Remember the hanging meat are unstable loads, do not require special care. Yeah, they do. Have low centers of gravity. I don't know about that. Are unstable loads, right? Yeah, that's the answer. Remember this? Yeah. A GPS device should have a screen larger than 4 inches, should be designed for truck navigation, or should be made in the USA. I mean, I think they should be made in the USA, but that's not the answer. The answer is B. Evil Beaver, my brother, what's up, dude? Click commenting work. Good OP. Remember the vehicle inspection. Yeah, dude, absolutely, Evil Beaver. I will know that. I will be learning that. That's not on the test. I'm learning that right now, but the hands-on and the skills won't come till the final test, bro. The actual driving license test. Most GPS devices are made for cars or other smaller vehicles, and so not have the size or weight of large vehicles programmed in. Make sure your GPS device is designed for large commercial vehicles. I'll calculate the score. This is the last question, guys. A major cause of fatal crashes is overinflated tires, poorly adjusted brakes, or driving too fast for road conditions. I know this one. I hope you guys do too. Deke's correct too. C. 96%, guys. We passed again. I feel good. Guys. I feel good. Before I take the test tomorrow, I'm going to go through all the tests one more time of all of them on my own time, just to make sure I get it and know it all. Then head to DMV. All right, guys. So we did the 2 general knowledge tests. I think I did pretty good. Hit 90%, over 90% on both. We're going to go to passenger. We did passenger vehicles yesterday. Test 1. Let's go to test 2. Federal regulations set an axle weight limit of how many pounds on a tandem axle that is 4 feet apart. I'll give you a hint. It's the higher number here. It's a Class B, Justin. I'm doing Class B, bud. All right. Class B endorsement, passenger endorsement with air brakes. 34K, guys. Federal law states that single axles are limited to 20,000 pounds, limited to 20. And axles spaced more than 40 inches and not more than 96 inches apart. Tandem axles are limited to 34,000. At drawbridges with no signal, you must stop at least what? How many feet, guys, before the drawbridge? I know this one. Deke says A. I'm sorry, Deke. You are wrong. D says just on. D is correct. 50 feet. Stop at drawbridges that do not have a signal light or traffic control attendant. If they don't have a light or... There's another one where if the light's green, you can go slowly through it, not stop. That one, there's an answer question for that. Stop at least 50 feet before the draw of the bridge. Look to make sure the draw is completely closed before crossing. I know, I don't know any drawbridges. Deke, I don't know any about here either, bro, but that's the answer I need to know. A bus may carry baggage or freight only if it is secured so that the driver can move freely and easily. Any driver can use all exits. Riders are protected from falling or shifting packages. I would say all answers are correct. Yeah, there's the tracks. There's railroad tracks. The railroad tracks one's 15 to 50 feet. The least is 15, but the range is 15 to 50 feet. Deke on railroad tracks. In general, standees on a bus are not permitted to stand between the fixed seats, in front of the standee line, within 5 feet of an emergency exit. Remember, standees in a bus are not permitted to what? Jason says C here. That's not correct. It's in front of the standee line. Buses designed to allow standing must have a 2-inch line on the floor or some other means of showing riders where they cannot stand. This is called the standee line. All standee riders must stay behind it. Oh, I thought you answered C for this one. Rules require shippers to mark containers of hazardous materials with materials name, ID number, and hazard label. All answers are correct. That makes sense too, right? The following are some situations that require special attention from all drivers. Which one is even bigger problems for the driver of a vehicle with a low ground clearance, backing on level ground, off tracking on sloped curves, humps or dips in the road, driving in slippery conditions? I know this one. Do you? I know this one. Are you saying B for this one, Justin? Off tracking or on slope? I think B. That's not correct. It's humps or dips in the road. With low ground clearance, humps or dips in the road would present more of a hazard. A straight vehicle weighing about 20... Now, this is a very tricky question, guys. This blew my mind, but it's tricky. A straight vehicle weighing 20,000 pounds, which hauls 20 passengers, falls into what CDL class? A, B, or C? I thought it was a certain class. This one's nuts. You want to know what it is? It's C. Can you believe it? A vehicle with no articulation, Class A has articulation, weighing less than 26,001 pounds, Class B is for 26,001 or more, would fall under Class C. Yeah, in California, that's how, yeah. I thought it was Class B, but it's weighing 20,000 pounds. See, they put the 20,000 in there, man. You know what I mean? Now, if they would have put 26,000 pounds, it's 26,001 or more. So just 26,000 pounds would still be Class C. Maybe not, though, because with 20 pounds, I don't know, but whatever. It's Class C. I thought it was Class B at first. Wasn't. Prohibited practices on the bus include fueling your bus with riders on board, talking with riders while driving, obviously, towing a disabled bus. All answers are correct. You must put a loaded bus into motion from a stop position on a steep upgrade. Which of these is the best technique to follow when you have a bus with manual transmission? Hold the foot brake until the clutch has been fully released. Accelerate hard and release the clutch quickly. Slowly release the clutch while releasing the parking brake. I kind of forgot this one. I think it's A or C. I want to say A. Slowly release the clutch while releasing the parking. I think it's that one too. I almost think it's that one. I thought it was A though. I drive manual. C, come on. Oh, let's go. Okay. All right, I stand corrected. So when I see this one, slowly release the clutch while releasing the part. This is on this one, manual transmission. Okay. Thank you, Tiago. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Deke. You guys, I like it. Ricky was yelling it at me. I drive manual. C. Come on, man. Yeah, slowly release. Hold the brake until... Yeah, okay. I don't drive manual, so yeah, that make... Okay, I get it. Slowly release the clutch while releasing the parking brake. Because I think we saw that before, right? On a big rig. You do that, and when you feel pull, then you can release it, right? I gotcha. All right, that's another question in a weirded... They just used a bus, right? I answered this correctly earlier. All right. You may sometimes haul small arms ammunition, emergency shipments of drugs, or hospital supplies on a bus. The total weight of all such hazardous materials must not be greater than how many pounds? This impressed me on a bus. But what do you guys think it is? It's crazy. I didn't know. This is a lot of, this is crazy answer here. The answer is 500, guys. A bus cannot carry more than 500 pounds. That's a lot of pounds of drugs or whatever. Of allowed hazardous materials, and no more than 100 pounds of any one class. So it's 100 of any one class, but this is talking about the total weight of all. But if it said one class, it'd be 100 pounds. That's a lot, man. That's crazy. You could seriously blow up a bus with all that. Whatever. All right. Which of these is a good rule for backing a straight bus? A good rule, backing toward the side opposite the driver? No, you never want it. When you're backing, you look at the driver's side mirror, right? So that's probably not right. Turn the steering wheel away from the direction in which you want to back of the wheel to go. Use voice signals to communicate with a helper. Exactly. Oh yeah, it does get heavy, Justin. You're right. Yeah, ammo is heavy though, but I mean, how many people are hauling ammo onto a bus? Turn the steering wheel away from the direction in which you want to back of the vehicle to go. Yeah, that one I'm 95% sure on. Yeah, I'm flustering on the B or the D. Yeah, I remember this one, but I'm like a 95% remember it, which is a good rule for backing a straight bus. Turn the steering wheel away from the direction in which you want to back. Wait, turn the steering away from the direction. I guess that seems more pronounced. I want to say B now. Oh, it's no answers. Okay. No answer is correct. Because you cannot see everything behind your vehicle. That's another one too, blind spots. I totally forgot about that. Backing is always dangerous. That's always a dangerous thing to do on big trucks and buses. Avoid backing whenever you can, they say. When you have to back up, here are a few simple safety rules. Start in the proper position. Look at your path. Use mirrors on both sides. Back slowly, back and turn toward the driver's side whenever possible. And use a helper whenever possible. No answer is correct. How are buses to handle most railroad grade crossings? Come to a complete stop before crossing. Slow down and prepare to stop if a train is approaching. Turn the vehicle flashers on before crossing. Tap the electrical horn before crossing. Come to a complete stop before crossing. Stop your bus between 15 and 50 feet. Remember that? Before railroad crossings, listen and look in both directions for trains. Also, when you do that, you want to have your vehicle flashers on. I would do too as well, but this is talking about when you get there. You don't want to roll through with you want to stop, and I would put on my flashers too, because people behind you might be, why are you stopping, bro? There's no train coming. But that flashers I would do that. Most buses do that if you've noticed. Which of the following statements about hazard materials are false? This is a false one. Okay, not true. You can carry any hazardous materials on your bus as long as they are properly labeled. Buses may carry small arms. Yes, they can. Shippers must mark each package of hazardous materials with the material's name, ID. That's true. Many hazardous materials cannot be carried on a bus. I think it's many, because many can be. No, you know what? I think it's A, man. Yeah, many can be. There's many of them that can't be. Yeah, it has to be that aren't proper. You can carry hazardous materials on your bus as long as they are properly labeled. So look, shippers must mark each package, right, of hazard materials with the material's name, ID number, and hazard label. So yeah, you can carry any. Yeah, that's false. Did I catch it? Did I get it? Did I select that one? I don't even know if it worked. Oh, here we go. There we go. I didn't do it. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's not a trick. That's kind of a tricky one, but it says it true in C. I should have saw that and said, duh. You can carry any. That word any's a lot, guys. Like any is not all of them. And not all of them are okay. So that one, A is the answer on that one. If a passenger is drunk or disruptive, you may follow your carrier's guidelines for dealing with unruly passengers. Yeah. Drop the person off in a safe, well-lit public area when there are other people. Yeah, probably. Drop the person off at the next schedule. Yeah, I would say that's good. So do any of the above. Always check the interior of the bus before driving to ensure rider safety. What are you looking for? The emergency exit sign on the emergency door that must be clearly visible. I would say so. Aisles and stairwells should be clear. Yeah, I would agree. All seats must be securely fastened to the bus. I would agree to that too. So all of the above. To prevent theft and vandalism on a charter bus, make frequent stops to check on the bus's interior. Collect all the valuables from the passengers. Do not allow riders on the bus until the departure time. Install cameras. This one's obvious. Not obvious, but I know this one. The answer is C. Do not allow charter bus drivers should not allow drivers on the bus until departure time. This will help prevent theft or vandalism of the bus. When pulling out of a bus stop, start moving as soon as your passengers are loaded. Watch for poles and tree branches. Passing vehicles must slow down and yield to the bus. You may assume the other drivers will leave you room. I know this answer. Do you? What's theft like of action? Yeah, somebody stealing someone's belongings, just on. Yeah, that's not the answer, rookie. It's not the answer. I mean, it seems like it'd be the answer, right? Most people you would assume would leave room for buses, but that's not always the case. When pulling out of a bus stop, the answer, like Justin says, is watch for poles and tree branches. Which of the following answers list the 3 types of emergency equipment you must have on your bus? Emergency reflectors, fire extinguisher, signal flares, and tire repair kit. Hydraulic jack, fire extinguisher, signal flares, fire extinguisher, spare electrical fuses, and emergency reflectors. You guys good? Yeah, I think it's C. I'm 95% sure it's C. Yep, C. You must have a fire extinguisher 10 BC or better, spare electrical fuses, and emergency reflective triangles. C is the answer. Due to the extreme size of the bus, the driver must watch for poles and wires. Remember we mentioned that was one to leave, right? Clearance and your bus needs. I would say clearance too. That would count. Gaps your bus needs to accelerate. I would say all answers are the correct. Yeah. Last question, guys. I think I can only miss 4. I think I missed 3 or 2 already. When do you sign post-inspection reports? Before you start your trip, only if repairs are needed. After it's certified and there is no repairs needed. What's the answer to this one, guys? We'll probably do this last one here, then I'm going to probably wrap it up, but I'll do the others later. We've been live now for almost 2 hours, and I think I'll just do the rest on my own. C, yes it is. After it's certified and there are no repairs, and we calculate, we got a 95, guys. Let's go. You passed with a score of 95. I feel good. I feel good, guys. I feel good. Yeah, there's a couple 95% is at that, but I feel good. I feel real good. I feel real good. Well, I appreciate everybody taking the time to chill with me today and hang out with me, guys, as I practice my review for tomorrow's actual test. Nice, Tiago. Yeah. I'm allowed, if I fail, to take it over 3 times. But I don't want to fail. I want to do it right tomorrow. Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking, dude. I'm not going to lie, man. DMV, man. It can be a little bit... But you know what's interesting, guys? I took the first one, the air brake test at the DMV on Friday. The questions were the exact same verbiage that on this test that were on the DMV computers. I was blown away how 100% accurate these tests are. So I'm confident that these questions are all going to be asked on the test. It's pretty awesome. Thank you, Rod Tucker, my good friend. I feel good, guys, but I'm off stream. I'm going to go run through all of them again. The passenger one. I was hoping to get the passenger and the air brakes on Friday so I could just focus on the general knowledge, but I feel confident with the passenger as well. But I want to make sure and run through all of them so I get a feel for all the questions that are possible. Oh, Ryan J gifted thumbs up by 10 joules. Sent thumbs up for 10 joules. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Take your time, OP, and read all very good, and always search for key words, wisdom, or wordism. Absolutely, man. Thank you guys so much. The inspection before driving test is the only thing to be... Yeah, Zendo. You are a driver, aren't you, Zendo? Dude, the pre-trip for air brake testing and the pre-trip stuff, dude, like, that's what's nerve-wracking. But when I go to this school, I gotta go to this driving. It's a school for truckers or whatever. I need 15 hours over there with them. I'm assuming 3 hours a day times 5, so Monday through Friday, 3 hours a day. I'm going to be asking so many questions because they're going to show me the vehicle that I'm going to use for the actual test. They're going to actually lend me their vehicle to use for the test. And I'm going to definitely ask, I want you to do a full, complete pre-trip for me, and I'm going to note everything you're doing. They'll probably give me a paper showing what I need to do, but I want to see how they do it, the instructor. And so I'm going to be doing all, yeah, I have to verbatim remember what to say, bro. It is not easy. Dude, I'm going to be so nervous that day, guys. Like that's the last of the Mohicans to pass my test. This is just memory, knowledge on paper, right? The skills part, I'm confident in driving it. It's just the pre-trip, man. I need to cover every part of the pre-trip requirements. Verbatim, guys, verbatim. Yep, tell them everything you're checking it. Yep, 100%. Yeah, you inspect before you drive, rookie. So that if I can get past the inspection part, guys, I'm looking pretty good, I think. I'm looking good because the driving part, I got to talk while I'm driving, look at hazards, say I'm 12 to 15 seconds ahead, do all that stuff, stop at railroad tracks, 15 feet if there's a white line, or if there's not, but I can go to 15 feet. So I'd stay back pretty far. Hazards on, looking left, right, left, like I think I can do that. But I heard that if you don't cover your pre-trip 100%, you fail like that. It's an automatic fail. I have to be able to cover my pre-trip, friends. Thank you, Rick 1212. Tune in a pouch, my brother. Just believe in your skills like you do in Boom Beach, and you will. Rod, no, I will. No, I trust me. I think this school that I'm going to be going to, this little trucking thing, they did say that you ask questions. We want you to pass. That's their purpose, is to get you to pass. I'm going to be on them like flies on poop about anything I need to know. Listen, I'm going to say, run me through the pre-trip on this vehicle right now. Run me through it. I'm using that vehicle for my test. I need to know it left, right, center stage, guys. I need to know the paint color. No, I'm kidding. No, I need to know everything on. If I can pass pre-trip, guys, we're halfway there. That's all I can say. I'll be so excited, but I don't want to get too prideful because I don't want to, by accident, get so excited I drive over a train track and didn't stop. Could you imagine? Yeah, I got to be careful. Pedestrians always have the right of way. I'm in a big vehicle. Yeah, that I got to be very humble, guys. If I can pass my pre-trip and I get a thumbs up and good job, let's go to the driving. That's a good spot to be in for me. So that won't happen for like 2 weeks. I can't get my license skills test until having my permit for 14 days. That's 2 weeks. So if I get my permit tomorrow, I have to wait 2 weeks out before I can take my road skills test. So I'll spend a week at the class, and then I'll have a whole week to study. And yeah, I'm nervous, but I'm excited at the same time, guys. I'm happy I made it this far. And again, this is just to ride the school bus, the trolleys at my church. I'm not doing this for a career, although maybe one day in the future, if I did want to drive a bus, I probably could, right? With this license. But I'm just doing this because I want to serve at my church and drive a trolley and drive people from the parking lot to the church and from the church to the parking. That's it. And I need this to do that. So I'm praying, like if God wants me to do this, he's going to get me through it. That's how I see it. My faith will make it work. That's just how I believe. Like I believe God works everything to the good for those who love him. And I love God. So I'm praying that he gets me through this. I have faith. My faith is what's going to get me through this. Not my own ability, even though he's given me a brain. he's given, you know, I can remember stuff. But yeah, I'm praying for peace on my test day. I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to be nervous. I know that's probably going to happen, but well, I'll keep you guys posted, man. I'll let you know on a live stream that tomorrow is test day, guys. But it's not anywhere near right now because I got to still wait 2 weeks out from if I get my permit tomorrow. Oh, nice, rookie. Good job, bud. By staying on this stream, it reminded me of my driving test too. Best days. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, Rod. Dude, that's awesome, dude. Like the pre-trip. Were you nervous on the pre-trip, Rod? Were you nervous when you had to do the pre-trip, bro? Like I had to do that for UPS. When I got my UPS certification, I had to do the pre-trip in 3 minutes or less at UPS. I had to look under make sure there's no leaks or check the lights, the marker lights and all that jazz. Make sure they're up there, they're looking good. There's no cracks or whatever. Check the mirrors. Get in the car. Check the defroster, the signals, the cameras, this and that, blah blah blah. This all that. Get out, go around the truck. Check the bumper, the latch on the doors. And I did it like in 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I had 45 seconds to spare and I passed. But I had to go fast. That was a speed. I don't know if there's a speed test for that. I think that you go at your own pace, which I think is peaceful for me enough. I think I'm going to I just got to make sure I note everything. There's even a paper that I printed, guys. It shows the pre-trip on a piece of paper. I don't know what I did with it. Yeah. It is, it's a paper with a bus and it has a pre-trip checklist. I'm sure that's the same thing. But yeah, I'm a local end dump driver, says. Oh, nice, Deke. So you know what's up, bro. Yeah, you guys like the trolleys. Those are cool, huh? I'm like I said, guys. The church where I fellowship at. It's not one of those. You know, we're not a church looking for money, or we're not. It's not like it's just God. God has provided for the church, and the trolley system is a great way because. But the parking is not that suitable because the church is a business building in a business area. So not a lot of places there allow parking for the church attendees. So other businesses elsewhere outside that area, a couple blocks away, allow parking, and I'm sure a fee, maybe, who knows? I don't know. Maybe not. I could be wrong. I don't want to judge them. But we have trolley stops there on, and it's a good, like, probably 3 or 4 blocks away from the church. So I would drive on a main road with a trolley, yeah, I'm transporting people that I love on the trolley. So I want to be very safe and transport people very safely in a trolley to church and back to their cars. So that's my thing. And guys, and I'm not doing this for money. This is to serve. This is what we do. We serve one another at our church. That's it. That's all it is. That's what I know. Right now, if you ever came to my church and visited me, I greet you. I would greet you coming in to the church. I greeted 2 people today. It was their first time. I'm like, oh, welcome. Can I show you around? Can I take you? And I would show them around. I'd be there right beside them. It's just to show the love. That's what I do. I want to love people, and I want to welcome them in. And if I can welcome them in by bringing them in on a trolley, I love trains, guys. Ding, ding, ding. Like, I can do the dinger. I'm not going to lie. This is cool. I might even actually buy, if I do get this license, to be like a conductor, like wear the little, have the train hat on and ding, ding. Like, I love trains, man. So to drive like a trolley, which looks like a train kind of, that's really cool, but again, it's all for the glory of God, not for my pleasure or whatever. But this is what I'm getting this license for. And this is what I'm hoping God will get me through, because I know with Him, all things are possible. It's that simple. All right, my good friends. I thought I already did, Tiago. You didn't see it, bro? Hold on. I'll show you the trolleys in my church, guys. Oh, I need to redo this to... Okay. Hold on. Okay. There they are. There they are. Yeah, man. And like I said, guys, I think the red one has hydraulic brakes and the blue one has air brakes. But the blue one has a bella, you have a little string inside the trolley where you go ding, 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 ding. Like I got to do that. The red one doesn't have that, I don't think. But yeah, you can see here, it can seat about 35, 40 people. Maybe, you know, it was people standing, 50 maybe. So that's what I'm looking, guys. What one day if I can serve my where I fellowship at in church, this is what I'll be doing, bringing people to and go back to their car at church. Yeah. Yeah, guys. I think we have 4 of these trolleys, but 2 of them are out of service right now. They're being worked on. There's a big national equip conference coming in at my church for prayer. And we're gonna have a lot of people, a lot of the Compass Bible churches where I fellowship at. There's 8 of them, I think, in the United States. There's some in Texas, Idaho. There's, I think, 3 here in Southern California. They're all coming to our church June 12th and 13th for the National Equip Conference, where it's all about prayer, pray, and so I'm Lord willing, I'll be ready to go before that so I can help on that date, June 12th. Like, I mean, they have 4 trolleys, but 2 that you see here are the only ones that are in commission right now. Yeah. Oh yeah, those vehicles are, yeah, they're. I wouldn't say, like, I know that the what you're saying in the distance you can't tell, but they are longer than like I would say like I mean, my Transit is probably little more than half of it, but that's totally longer than my Transit. But yeah, guys. Yeah, but that's cool. Like, they're awesome, and people, you know, it's awesome, man. It's awesome. It's awesome. So there they are, friends. Hope you enjoyed that. Those are what I'll be driving if I get this license. I'm not out there to get a real license to drive a big rig or a bus. Although later in my life, if I just say, you know what, I'm going to go be a bus driver for charter or something, I don't know, I could do that. I don't know if I will, but it's good to have that just in case I do. But yeah, it's primarily on 100% to drive these trolleys you see before your eyes right now. All right, my good friends, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. Okay, might be a stupid question, but front wheel drive or rear wheel drive? I don't know, dude. I could ask. I don't know. I just know one of them is hydraulic braking and the other one is air brake. So, heck yeah, guys. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I wish I could boom for you today. I got to go to my fellowship group tonight. We have a fellowship group meeting with our fellowship group tonight, so I will be doing that. But I might stream a little later. I just feel like I went 6-6 too much on my accounts. I'm at rank 18 and 19, I think. I didn't hit diamond yet, and today's the last day, so I'm gonna just let my accounts just rest where they're at. And next season, hopefully, it's just I've been really studying for this, guys. I've done a lot over the last course of 2 weeks to prepare for this, and so my heart right now. My heart is to pass this. My heart is to serve my brothers and sisters at church. That's simple. And to serve the Lord. That's my main goal. I'm serving God. That's how I want to do it. I want to serve and love on people. That's what I want to do. I think that's what the God wants me to do too, because he put it on my heart. They needed trolley drivers. I said, I can go for it. I'll do it. And they, yeah, it was awesome. Isn't that Class D, says Hinka? No, that's Class B, bud. Passenger endorsement. Take care, Rod Tucker, my good friends. Thanks for hanging out, guys, today for this stream. Like, it's not a Boom Beat stream, but you guys showed your support outside of a Boom Beat stream, and I really appreciate that. I really do. And I thank you so much for all your guys' support. Check Discord, says Rookie. I'm on Discord, but what do you want me to check? Oh. Oh, look at that. You got a trolley there, and you got a trolley there. I see it, Tiago. Nice. Nice. That's cool, bud. That's really cool. It looks similar to the one I would be driving. Thanks for sharing, bro. Appreciate you, man. Universal Studios in LA, yeah. It looks similar to the one I'd be driving, absolutely. I wonder if I heard they got some of these trolleys from that area, so I wouldn't be surprised if they got them, repainted them, and just whatever, yeah. A lot of times they said the trolleys they would capture were kind of like, you know, out of commission. They had to repair them, and then the church got them for a really good price. I don't know what price, I didn't ask, but, you know, like I said, it's just a great way God has provided for the church to traffic people to and from. I think it's awesome. So I'm going to go to your church just to have you drive me around. You're going to meet a lot of people who are going to love on you, ABR. I just want you to know that. One of these days, maybe if I get that license, guys, and I'm in the trolley, I'll have my wife take a picture of me in the trolley. You guys can see me, and I'll wave to you guys. I'll put a picture up on the stream one of these days. Lord willing, I'm not scared or nervous, but yeah, the skills test, guys, for my license. I mean, weren't you guys nervous when you went out for your driver's license for your Class C? Weren't you nervous? My son just got his Class C license a couple weeks ago. DMV, he was nervous. He was really shaking. He's like, Dad, I'm nervous. I'm like, I get it, man. You gotta be right on, you know? And I'm doing the same thing, but it's like, if I fail, who cares? I can still drive, but I'm, you know what I mean? I'm a little, like, as that day approaches, I'm gonna be a bit like, come on, OP, come on, don't forget, cover all your, cross your I's and dot your I's. Wait, cross your T's and dot your I's. Here we go. Whatever. I got to do it, guys. I feel I can do it, and I know God will give me the wisdom and discernment to do it. I could just, if He wills that this happens, He will make it happen. It's that simple. He will give me what I need. He will give me what I need. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Like, there are things where when you go do something, it's like tomorrow, the DMV, I'm gonna be still a little bit like, don't mess up. I can, and I can retake it 3 times, but I don't want to, man. I just want to get it done with. So tomorrow is not going to be that bad because it's just a knowledge brain nugget test, but it's the skill test that's going to be really putting on the fire under my feet. I'm happy. You all think I'm, no, you don't, you, no, yeah, no, don't, well, you don't have to hate. Did you know hate, ABR, let me just, I know you probably don't care, but hate in the heart is like murder in the heart. Did you know that? If you look at a woman to lust after her, the Bible says, you commit adultery in your heart. Did you know that? I've done that before. I've repented of that. God has given me that. But no, but that's how crazy, like, you think about that. You think that's crazy, right? Well, I didn't commit it in physical act, like, but it just the eyes, like, yeah, crazy. Even if you're single, says Rookie. Well, then if you're single, Rookie, then now that turns into, if you look at a woman and lust after her, just if you look, like, then okay, forget adultery because you're not married, but it's fornication in the heart. You know what I mean? Whatever. I don't need to preach to you guys. I'm just telling you, it's crazy. You know, you don't have to, you can be free and say, I've never touched a woman before, but have you looked at one with lustful intent? Oh, then you've fornicated or committed adultery in your heart. But anyways, all right, friends, thank you guys so much for watching. Fine, then I'll be more like Mr. T. I'll pity the... Well, rookie, look, bro, I'm not going to tell you guys, I'm not going to preach to you guys or anything. But, okay, we all have, yeah, I know. Well, I believe you. Okay, I believe you. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to head out. My wife just got home. I got to go over there and see the kids and everything. But, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate all you guys. Thanks for hanging around. Leave a like on today's stream. I hope you guys find that educational. If you guys are in the field to ever be, like you guys learned some stuff today, I guess. Now, this is for California. If you go back to the front of it, if I go back to the very front here, you can see here, select your state. And then there's all the states you could do, right? You live in another state, you pick it. But I live in California, so I'm going to choose California. And then it gives you all the tests here to take. Air brakes. We already passed that one. I already passed that one. That thing. They got hazardous material ones. Yeah, I know you can't see all that because it's. I guess I could go here, but it has everything: tanker, doubles, triples, passenger. And I want to thank Zendo for promoting this website to me, dude. You don't realize this, Zendo, but I want to thank you, bro. I wish I could super chat to you, bro. You gave me this website link, dude. I studied it. And I kid you not, Boom community, every single question I studied for the air brake test that could be on the test were verbatim on the DMV computers. Like, I was laughing. The guy's like, what are you laughing for? Oh, you wouldn't know if I told you, bro. Well, you might, but I'm laughing because I'm thinking Zendo's awesome. The CDL website's awesome. If you seriously are going for a commercial driver's license, guys, go to CDL.com. It is by far the spot-on reflection of your DMV written tests. I kid you not. Now, I will be fully the air brake one was awesome. If air brakes were exactly the questions, I am confident that the passenger and the general knowledge will be the exact same too as well. If that's the case, I feel really good. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it. Thanks so much for watching. I got to go to the restroom, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out, all my good friends. I'll be live streaming tomorrow after my test I'll let you go the good news or maybe the bad news. The bad news would be I have to take it again on Tuesday if I failed it, but I'll even show you my thing if I have it tomorrow, okay? Have a good one, everybody. Stay cool and have a blessed rest of your weekend. See you later. Peace out.